All right, I wanted to take a moment to do a behind the scenes talk. Now, I want to show you a little bit of what part 14 looks. This is like the last part before I go into a little hiatus of Buck Rogers. So, I'll show you a few seconds of this. So here it is. Here it is in the side. Okay, so here's what it looks like. You know, so obviously I'm not going to present it this way, but it's not finished yet. So let me close this up. It does take a little while. Now this part 14 is going to be in full color. Every 7 parts it will be in full color, and that's just to kind of illustrate the whole Sunday funnies, because the Sunday funnies would always be in full color, and while the other 6 days of the week would be in black and white with usually 3 panels. Sometimes the 3 panels are manipulated a bit, like I put a little window within a window or cut into triangles. Here is Buck Rogers. Now this is Buck Rogers. This is, I don't know if this is AI or real art, but this is done by DeviantArt, Argo City Artworks. So there you go. So I think it's going to take probably another day to get this done. I was supposed to be done Sunday, but I couldn't get it done on Sunday. So I ended up, doing a little bit here, a little bit there. It's trying to cram in the dialogue. Now, I had to repurpose the dialogue. So I have on my tablet, I'll even show you my tablet for this because I have the stories on here. I'm not going to show you what part 14 is till later on, but I'll show you the first 7 parts. So Buck Rogers is written in little paragraphs, and when I have these paragraphs done, it's just my creativity and how I do it. And let's see if we can get something here. All right, so here we have. Now this is how I do these things. Okay, now this lays out what each panel looks like, what's happening in the panel, so obviously none of this is AI generated. My art, my writing, this is all natural. This is me. And I wanted to present it in a way that is kind of based on like what Panos Cosmatos would direct his pictures. You'll notice that there's a lot of abstract stuff going on. There's a lot of abstractions, a lot of putting the sort of, I wanted to make Buck Rogers easy to draw. And I wanted to make Buck Rogers easy to remember. The hair is over his eye because he can only see so much. He can see half of the things he needs to see. So he's kind of in the dark. He's got one eye open, one eye in the dark. You've got Wilhelmina Deering, but we've only seen a little bit of her, but we'll see more of her. We'll see more of her. I will show more of her as we go along here. He's got strip 2, lighten up. So this is the part 2 where the ship starts. Why is that warning light going off? Now, for part 14, I had to redo the dialogue because I usually have up to 7, maybe at least 6 panels. I know I have more than 3 panels going on, but about 5 panels at least, and maybe 7 or 8. And they're always funny shapes. They're funny shapes where stuff happens, and so I try to do different panorama angles and shit. So here we got top down board game. Trouble. Oh yeah. So part 3 was like Trouble, the board game, in which you had in Trouble you have these little pegs that go to their home base, but you have to pop the dome in the center. So it looks like that. It was just to create that sort of, there's trouble going on. So everybody has to go to their station, their red alert stations. Okay. So when I'm trying to create these top down angles or these medium shots, you'll notice you never really see Buck and a person, like in Garfield or Peanuts, right? You always see one person talking to, like a stage, right? In a stage, you have 2 or more people. There's dialogue. Maybe there's a group talking to each other, okay? A group conversation, and everybody's in the shot. In all these like panels, you see that Buck is at an angle, or you see Buck from behind, or you'll see the scientists in the suits, or some of the Air Force. You'll see them at different angles, but you always see like one person at a time. And that's just kind of how I do it. It's one person at a time. It's looking at the individual rather than the whole. When we get to the future, or where Buck is in the future, he's looking around, right? And he's looking at these different things. And there's a lot going on, okay? There's a lot going on for Buck, and he has no idea. But he knows he's not getting all his information. He's only getting whatever he's being told. And he has to kind of go. And I focused a lot on the atmosphere. Like with Silverhawks, the comic book, that's focusing on the character. Here I'm focusing on the world and how does it feel to be in that world. Like in the last panel, Buck is reaching out to the future car. He sees his reflection. Now, we don't see Buck. We just see, it's sort of an Escher drawing of sorts, in which we just see his hand, and it's reaching out to touch the reflection on the car, even though it's not his car. So little things like that matter. Think inside the box. Scatter the ants, right? Capsule in the foreground. Okay, so yeah, so this is where Buck gets into the cryogenic tube. And there's a lot of, like, the pipes represent confusion and a system in place, and he's in the middle of the system. So hands of a clock, disappearing act. So the smoke covers him. So it's like a disappearing trick. And this is the first one I did in color. And you see the hands reach out. One hand grabs the other. And so he's looking around, and he just sees these strange things, right? So I do put more than one person in the shot, but he has no idea what's going on. It's like he's the only person, right? And though there's a girl, but everybody's wearing these strange spacesuits. It's the year 2025. So obviously there's something going on. The minute you hear that, something's going on. And I will not tell you yet. At some point, you're going to realize it. But I feel that there's a lot of symbolism. And I do want this to become something more. But first, I got to get past this arc of story. And I'm hoping it doesn't go on too long. Now, I have 80 pages in this binder here. And I'm hoping, and I pray that I can get this. So here's Remain the Same, medium shot of Buck investigating a web of now broken pipes. So much has happened. I promise to help you adjust. Close up of Buck. Puts up his right hand, palm side up. So a lot of times Buck is covering his face. We don't see a perfect shot of Buck. We don't see a perfect shot of a lot of things, okay? I remember watching Buck Rogers. So yeah, 80 parts to this book, and I'm hoping I can get somewhere with this, because I don't want it to go on too long. I don't want it to go on too short. I want to make sure that, like, it's evened out, so that what is too much story, and what, if it's dragging on too long, we need to move on to the next thing. Now with Buck, I remember the first Buck Rogers I saw was the 1970s version with on KTLA 5. Obviously, I think it was on ABC. I think, no, it was on ABC. Yeah, it was on ABC, but I'm not that old. Okay, so I would see it on KTLA 5, and that's as much as I remember. Then I would watch the Buster Crabbe version, and they scrapped a lot of the newer projects because it's hard to really do a Buck Rogers story and capture people. The only way you could do it now is maybe with animals, or you take characters that or maybe Captain America, but like, it's hard to really just do it and amaze people anymore, I think. The only way you could do it now is with some kind of like hook to it. What is the gimmick? What is the thing that we're looking for here? And I think it's just, waking up to that reality. So for Buck, he has to, there's something that, there's something to Buck that is very interesting. And we'll find out. There is a villain of sorts. There is a Killer Kane of sorts, and we'll find that out later on. But I wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise. Maybe you have figured it out. Maybe you have not figured it out. You have not figured out the ending, though. The ending is going to be something. But yeah, I mean, this is all I'm doing. All natural, no AI needed. The AI cannot catch up with my weird imagination as it is.